Huh. Interesting. No more Fortnite in China. I wonder why this is happening. Who knows? So, hey everybody, welcome back. So as you can see, Fortnite's being removed from China, and I have a few theories as to why this is happening. Probably the biggest one is that they're trying to reduce the amount of playtime that children have, so they're banning games that are highly addictive, and Fortnite is one of those games. But let's look further into the article, and I'll see you. And then we could talk about more about news on Fortnite. So, if we look into further in the article, nobody will be able to register and download the game after November the 1st, and the service will shut down. Fortnite's availability was billed as a test and is referenced as such in the shutdown announcement. So, this seems interesting. And so I think, as I mentioned before, it's because China has recently cut down the amount of time that children can play video games from, I think it was originally like 10 hours or something like that, to 3 hours, and only on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 1 hour per day. And so, yeah, and they're also being more strict about it too, because a lot of kids were able to use their parents or like an older cousin or people like that to essentially be able to play the video games for much longer periods of time than they're allowed to, and now they're cracking down on it. Now, as they did mention in here, Fortnite's availability was billed as a test, and so this might just be, Fortnite shutting down for now. But granted that there is, the 3 hour limit, and the fact that Fortnite's a really popular game, not even just, in America and all around the world, basically everywhere. Yeah, I'm not entirely surprised by this. So, it's kind of interesting, but let me know what you think. And let's move on to the next story, shall we? So, now, I do want to get into another really hard-hitting story. Skyrim IRL TikTok star was arrested and charged with murdering his wife and her friend. And this was following allegations of stalking and domestic abuse. So, Al-Nassar Abulaban, aka Jin Kid, is the actor behind Skyrim in real life. And it's incredibly popular on TikTok, but recently, as last week, I think it's 2 weeks from now, because this was talked about October the 27th, so it's been like 2 weeks now, was arrested 2 weeks ago and charged with murdering 2 people, including his wife. And as NBC San Diego reports, police were called to an apartment in the city's East Village last week, discovered the bodies of 2 people, of the wife and friend, and it's believed that Anna and Baron had been having an affair, and yeah, basically he went berserk and ended up killing not only his wife, but also her friend. And basically, let's just say that this is awful. Now, I'm not saying that the wife cheating on him is good either, but I definitely don't think it justifies murder in this case. I don't think many things would ever justify murder to begin with. And so, yeah, essentially, like, it's just awful. And I know there's some people trying to defend him and don't. He murdered 2 people, and that's not right. And so, yeah. As the internet moves more and more to having online, like, true online popular creators, and not just, like, the likes of PewDiePie, but, having more people like, for example, this TikTok star, it's going to get more muddied and interesting to see how cases like this are handled. Will it just be like the regular paparazzi, or is there going to be a degree of separation? Because most people that are really famous, the likes of Lady Gaga, Ellen DeGeneres, not to say that they get away with some things, but they definitely have. And not even just those people specifically, but just people of higher power. And so I'm just wondering whether or not if this is going to just be, for the people that are like more mainstream, or if people like TikTok stars will eventually get some kind of different treatment and, basically get a lesser charge. But for now, at the very least, yeah, basically he's getting charged with murder, and yeah, it's basically awful. I don't need to say any more about it. So, next up on the list, after that morbid topic, I'm going to talk about the new Pikmin AR game from the developers of Pokemon Go, Niantic. And so, I mean, it's going to be similar in Pokemon Go with the fact that it's AR, but there's a lot of differences, right? Pikmin, at least the original Pikmin mainline games, is a strategy game about collecting items in order for you to escape the planet you're trapped on. And this game, instead, it's just walking around with the Pikmin. Yeah, nothing much. So, Literally, you just have Pikmin, you could grow Pikmin, you could pluck them from the ground with the more you walk, and so yeah. It's supposed to be a more mundane type of fun. Something like Animal Crossing, where it isn't competitive, you know? It's not a Twitch shooter, boomer shooter type game. It's it's like just having fun walking around with your Pikmin and making memories about like, oh, I got an interesting Pikmin this day, or I went to somewhere unique today, and things like that. So there are no gyms and stuff like that, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. But I don't know how much Pikmin will blow up, because only recently has it really gotten more mainstream attention. But even Nintendo doesn't acknowledge that it exists either, because Pikmin 4 has been done for a while and it's just never released. And so, yeah. If they're going to release Pikmin Bloom, I do hope that they announce either Pikmin 4 is coming or they release Pikmin 4. Either way. But yeah, for now, you know, another game with Niantic's coming out, and it looks to be at least a little more relaxing than Pokemon Go. So, something interesting for you guys to look forward to. Xbox is planning a special 20th anniversary stream, and it's going to be streaming on November the 15th. And it's going to happen around 10 a.m. PT, 1 p.m. ET, and 5 p.m. GMT. And so, this looks interesting. I may stream it if I have the time. I definitely do want to at least make either a segment of a video talking about what happened at the Xbox anniversary celebration, or make a full video about it, analyzing it. So, we'll see. But it looks interesting. So I'll see you guys November the 15th for this. On the games that have been updated recently, Doom has released update 6.66. Funny. So they have an arcade-style Horde mode, 2 new master levels, and Battle Mode 2.0 with a new arena and playable Dread Knight have been released, and so, yeah, if you're a Doom fan, come back to the game. Or if you're an Ultra Kill fan, like a true Chad, play that. Or Ghost Runner, that's a really good game too. Not to diss on this game. This game's great. All these games are great. You should play all of them. Now, for some news that I found pretty interesting, supposedly there's a rumor of a Wu-Tang Clan themed RPG, codenamed Shaolin, in the works, with partnership with Xbox, and I'm assuming it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, or at least it'll be Xbox first and then PlayStation and other platforms later. It's a third-person RPG with melee-oriented combat, with 4-player co-op supported, and it has a rich endgame and seasonal content, and it'll have a soundtrack made by the Wu-Tang Clan. And, I mean, rich endgame? I mean, not many games have actually been able to pull that off properly. Like, I know Monster Hunter Rise didn't have much of an endgame when it first released, and I think it still doesn't, but with the new expansion it will. Destiny ended up having a really big issue with just grinding out your light level for a while, and then there was some endgame content. But then once you get to that, then it's grinding the levels out. Warframe, it kind of... The endgame's Fashion Frame, which is wonderful. Great endgame, but yeah. So, rich endgame, it's kind of hard to pull off. The only few examples that I can really think of that did endgame content really well was like Borderlands 2 and the Borderlands series in general. Not as much 3 until, you know, more expansions came out. So we'll see if this game actually is actually a game or if it's just rumored. And we'll see whether or not the game's good. I think it's at the very least interesting. Oh yeah, and the Halo Infinite single-player campaign came out, trailer, and yeah, it looks much better than the original campaign trailer, so it's some good news. And I definitely hope Halo Infinite does really well, because... Not to say that it wasn't already popular, but with Halo 5's release, it kind of died down a little bit, and I hope that Halo Infinite brings back the feeling of Halo, not only in the multiplayer with the new added like grapple power-ups and other power-ups that they have, but also that the campaign is innovative at the very least, or if anything, just, you know, more of the good Halo stuff, and not 5 supposedly. I don't think 5 was that bad, was it? I haven't played it though, but at least other people are making it out to be like the worst Halo in the series. I don't know. But anyway... We'll see if Halo Infinite actually does good when it does release later on this year. Man, I need to keep going, and I need to find some more news for today. Oh, what does Skill Up have to say? What? What's this mark? And not quite big Activision Blizzard news, but at least something that I do want to talk about. Bobby Kotick has requested the pay cut down to $62,500 with no additional compensation until Activision makes substantial changes to address company culture. And you know what? I'd say that'd be a great move if he wasn't at least partially also responsible for it. Not only by the fact that I think there was some at least allegations that he knew about and then did nothing of it, but also the fact that, yeah, he's Bobby Kotick. We don't want to give him any credit. But, I mean, this seems like a good move, right? Oh, right, he made $150 million last year. Yeah, carry on and fuck this guy. Even though shill up is a shill, but, you know. But yeah, so, while I think that it's a good idea, at the very least for PR and whatnot, and, you know, to say, oh, I want to help these people more, you know, because if it was like one case and he was like, oh my gosh, I think that'd be an overreaction. But this was a company-wide issue, and he's only now doing something because of the fact he's getting hit with multiple lawsuits. So, yeah, fuck Bobby Kotick. Sure. I would think that this is a good move, you know, either way, because at least he's, you know, trying to, I don't know, give the money to his employees that they deserve for making the games. But yeah, he made $150 million last year, and I could care less, honestly. So fuck Bobby Kotick, and carry on. So that's the end of this week's news. Nothing too particularly interesting or big, but happy Halloween. That's big enough news to warrant a video at the very least. So yeah, that's it for this week, and next week, hopefully there'll be more juicy news. We'll see though. But anyway, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in a less spooky month and a more Thanksgiving type of month.